Can everybody hear me a-okay? I want to make sure. You guys got me here. Y'all, this is the first time we are streaming to 3 areas at the same time. If you guys are good on everywhere, let me make sure here. For my weather team, make sure you guys are in both places, dispersed as well. Guys, we got a lot to talk about today. We've got a lot to get into here as far as the tropics in general with our weather pattern. Once again, if you guys don't have to double check here on all 3 sides of things, make sure everybody is good. Awesome sauces. Maddie, Jamie, Kaylee, you guys are in here. Let me double check here. I love tornadoes. That's a great comment. I love that. All right, let me double check, guys. Make sure I've got everything set up here. We're trying something new tonight, so just kind of bear with me. We kind of go through this here. All right, for my people on the tube, let me make sure that I've got everybody. Maddie, let me get you added. Brianna, is that you over on tube that I can see? I just want to make sure. We're fixing a couple things here, guys. Bear with me for just a moment. This is our first live stream doing this, so just kind of bear with me. All right, let me get you, Bree. All right. What's up, guys? I'm so excited, guys, to see you guys all here. Facebook, the tube, and TikTok, guys. We are live on 3 areas tonight for the first time. I am very, very happy to say that we are continuing to improve and enhance the stream quality of Mesomat streaming. Super, super excited for that. Like I said, I will check back through over on the red play button for my mods that are not modded yet. So just kind of message me if you come in and I miss it. That way I can see it. Guys, like I said, we got a lot to get into here. We are now dealing with the potential for not only 1 tropical system, but another 2 tropical systems sitting out in the Atlantic Ocean on top of the one that's in the Gulf of Mexico. So we've got a lot to, like I said, get to here with you guys. As far as today, what's going to happen tomorrow, we are expecting a landfalling storm either in Texas or Louisiana here over the next couple of days. It more than looks like it's going to be on your Wednesday or your Thursday time frame here. So like I said, this is just something we're going to have to watch very, very closely. Let me get one more thing set up here. Bear with me, guys. I gotta get both chats pulled up here so I can see both chats. All right. So once again, guys, over on Tube, if you guys at this point haven't been modded yet, I'll get you guys at the end of the stream. We'll worry about that here in a little bit. Like I said, welcome, guys. Let's go ahead and start out with what we know here. We do have a high chance of development here in the Gulf of Mexico. This is going to be eventually tropical system Francine here. This is something we're going to have to watch very, very closely here over the next couple of days. I will tell you guys right now, if you live in eastern Texas, or along the Texas coastline from Brownsville all the way up to New Orleans, Louisiana, you need to be prepared for excessive heavy rainfall once again. And then we're going to have the threat for tropical tornadoes. We're also going to have the threat as well here for the potential for storm surge. Once this officially gets established as a system or as a named storm, tropical depression storm status, we'll get all the advisories, all that stuff in. So once again, we are just in the beginning stages of learning what's going to happen here with Invest 91L is what the National Hurricane Center has basically called this. And so we'll actually go here and we'll take a look here at what we're looking at here with 91L. And this is where the main component of thunderstorm activity is at right now. This is still kind of pushing off here. You're starting to see a little bit of kind of counterclockwise spin developing. If you guys haven't been paying attention to the weather, to the news, any of that stuff, there are 2 lows, believe it or not, here actually. And both of these lows, believe it or not, are going to actually merge, and we're going to have a low pop out at one big low to decide to basically kind of pop out of both of these, and then we will get more than likely tropical depression Francine here within the next 48 to 72 hours. We're also going to have the potential here for a tropical storm, and guys, I'm going to be 100% honest with y'all. Cannot rule out the potential for a hurricane, a Cat 1 hurricane to be, if everything goes perfectly right with conditions here, we could end up having Hurricane Francine right before landfall, depending on if this goes west, if this goes east, if this stays on the easterly course. We could see this kind of stay out over the open waters a little bit longer, so we would have more of a hurricane headed toward Louisiana than we would a tropical storm or vice versa. So right now, nothing to be too concerned about as far as the overall, what is this going to be, because we haven't had anything form yet, and we've got to actually have something form in order for us to get a cone, all of that stuff. You guys know how this works as far as the Hurricane Center goes. So just very, very, very mindful here. Once again, 60% chance of development here in the next 2 days of us getting a tropical depression at least, and then 80% chance in the next 7 days. So we are gonna get Francine. It's just a matter of time of when it's gonna happen here. And there's a lot of models that are agreeing with each other now. There's a lot of models that are kind of disagreeing with each other. Speaking of which, guys, we're actually going to stay on here for a little bit tonight as well. That way we can wait for the Hurricane Center to issue their new not their new advisory, but their new outlook here in about 45 to 50 minutes. And then we're going to also get the new GFS run tonight as well, the midnight run. I want to talk about that and look over that as well. Let me see who we've got here in the chat today. If you guys are on TikTok, YouTube, or Facebook, give it a like, tap the screen, and share this out as well to everybody, guys. I really, really appreciate this. We are going to be live every single day this week talking about this, and once we get a named storm, we will be doing wall-to-wall coverage as this heads towards Texas and Louisiana this week, meaning we'll be covering all the way through landfall. We'll have a tornado threat. We'll have a storm surge. We'll have a wind threat. We'll have everything that you would expect with a tropical cyclone. And whether or not this becomes a depression, a storm, or a hurricane, I think we're still going to have the tornado conversation. The heavy rain is going to be the biggest factor with this, and also just in general, the wind. So be very, very mindful if you live along the Texas and Louisiana coastline here. Got a lot of different things that we could be seeing here. Now, let's go ahead and let's look at, let me zoom out here. Let's go back to the Atlantic Ocean here really, really quickly, off topic of Invest 91L. We've got 2 other areas that we are also watching. We are going to be having a new wave that's going to be coming off the coast of Africa here over the next couple of days. And this is actually going to move into this orange shaded area here where we actually have a 40% chance of another system developing here. This is a ways out in the Atlantic Ocean, so we're not too concerned about this right now. But this is something we're going to have to make note of and just watch as far as the future goes. And then we're also really getting more concerned about the one that is here just north of the Leeward Islands, Lesser Antilles here. This is going to be a 30% chance of this cyclone developing within the next 2 days and a 50 in the next 7. So we are in peak hurricane season, guys. This is very, very much normal. In fact, we're actually behind as far as the tropics goes with anything. And so this is, like I said, going to be something we continuing to talk about really between this month and into as we go into October as well. Let me run over a couple things here and make sure I've got some people, everybody in here. I'm really excited, guys. I'm really excited for this new stream layout. It's going to be super, super, super awesome. You guys are crushing it here, and I really, really appreciate it. Tap that screen, share this out. Let's get the word out to people. Let people know to get prepared. Once again, the odds of a tropical system, of a named storm hitting the Texas-Louisiana coastline right now are sitting at 80%. So I'm more concerned about what we're going to be seeing here over the next couple of days as far as rainfall total goes. Now, I'm going to show you guys a couple of models here, and we'll just we're going to talk about this. We're going to work through this, give you guys some questions answered. I know a lot of people are going to have questions as far as the overall threat of this goes. Now, like I said, there's a lot of model discrepancies still, but we are getting more and more kind of agreement as far as the future goes with question mark Francine here. Now, this is what the GFS model has as of this afternoon, or the dinner time hour. We're going to get a new GFS run here, but it has the center of circulation. We will more than likely, like I said, have depression Francine, I would honestly say, by Tuesday morning, just based off of what the models are showing. Now, we have to actually see these 2 lows merge and, in fact, actually produce, a area of pressure that can be read through readings to basically get that depression status. So in order for us to have a tropical depression, we need winds to be at 35 mile an hour or higher in the center of circulation, which could definitely be happening. This is around 1 o'clock in the afternoon on September 10th. So this would be on Tuesday afternoon, starting to see impacts come into Texas. And so I'm going to be 100% honest with you. If you guys live in Reynosa, Corpus Christi, Victoria, Houston, Beaumont, you got to be prepared here for tropical tornadoes. We're going to have rainfall is clearly going to be, it's definitely going to be a thing. But we're also going to have, with the northern side of any typical tropical system, so we kind of split this like a grid here, you typically get what's called tropical tornado spin-ups. They go counterclockwise with these outer bands. And once again, this is going to be a storm that's strengthening as it works its way east-northeast until it officially makes a landfall. And so as long as the center of circulation is over warm waters, we're going to continue to have the potential for tropical tornadoes, rainfall. You guys get the etc. on that. And so GFS model here continuing to show a strengthening low pressure here all the way until, you know, 10 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday here. And then as we go into your Wednesday afternoon, I do think if the models continue to trend the way that they are trending right now, the European, the GFS, the Icon, the CMC, pretty much in a good agreement that we're going to have a landfall between Houston, Texas, and New Orleans. Still trying to figure out the logist on that once we get the cone issued by the National Hurricane Center at some point. Once depression status gets named, we'll probably get that cone, but we will more than likely see a landfall between Beaumont, Texas, and New Orleans, Louisiana. And so that's going to be where all the moisture goes. Now, the bigger conversation, my Louisiana, my Texas, my Mississippi, Alabama people, you guys have had nothing but rain this week. We've seen rainfall totals. If you guys have been watching my videos this week, the live streams that we have done, we've been talking nothing about flash flooding and rainfall continuing to add up along the Gulf Coast. We've seen rainfall totals push 8 to 12 inches already this week. We're about to add another 8 to 12 inches. You know, some areas could see higher depending on where these bands set up next week. And so, you know, if you're in southern Louisiana, central Louisiana, you guys got to be prepared here for flash flooding. It's going to be a serious situation on top of what happened already this week. And this is going to go well into the weekend here. We're going to have all of this tropical moisture continue to surge its way north here. This is going to go into Arkansas, Tennessee. You start to float with a low pressure remnants going into Kentucky. I wouldn't even rule out spin up tornadoes as far north as, you know, Kentucky into southern Missouri, Tennessee, Arkansas as we go into Saturday and Sunday of next weekend. So it's all going to be dependent, like I said, on the track of where the low pressure center goes, and that is going to be determinant of when we get an official low pressure to kind of merge here. So the moisture could actually surge potentially as far as, you know, Illinois and Indiana, but it would just be rain at that point. Now, that's what the GFS is showing. Now, the GFS model run with the rainfall totals, you guys aren't going to want to see these rainfall totals, but we're going to talk about it anyways because it needs to be talked about. This is a model run. This is not the exact forecast. We're not going to get a forecast for a little bit here, but basically what we're going to be seeing here is extensive rainfall, anywhere from, you know, 10 plus inches in these purple and white colors that you guys are seeing here. If I were to just paint my own forecast, basically from southern and central Mississippi all the way down here to Mexico, we could see that whole entire area I have circled anywhere from 8 to 12 inches of rainfall through next weekend. So that is a model solution. This is not, like I said, the exact forecast. This is a model run, and that's something we're going to have to watch here, like I said, very, very, very closely. Now, I would show you guys the other hurricane models here. We'll actually talk about this here in just a second. I'm going to go back to the satellite imagery here so we can, you know, show you guys some other models here, but we're really going to wait to see what this does overnight tonight. If you guys don't know, fun fact here, tropical systems, believe it or not, they're not like severe weather where they like to, you know, form off of daytime instability. Tropical systems like the nighttime hours. It has to do with, you know, the sun not being out, the water temperatures actually circulate. There's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes of a tropical system, but tropical systems tend to strengthen through the overnight hours compared to what they do to severe weather during the daytime. So if you guys did not know that, that's a really cool kind of fun fact for anybody that's a weather nerd out there. Now let's go ahead and go to some of these other model runs that we're talking about here. And once again, this is the GFS kind of painting a pretty consistent picture here. This is just me going based off of knowledge here. Anytime you have a low pressure tropical cyclone below 990 millibars, you typically are floating with, you know, higher end tropical storm status. Now it's going to be all dependent on what this looks like once it comes inland here. Let me actually zoom in here so you guys can see a little bit better. Zoom out there. There we go. So 989 would put this, that's what the GFS model as of this evening shows as landfall around, like I said, Louisiana here, 988, 990. This would be high-end tropical storm status. Can't rule out a Cat 1 hurricane happening. I think that's on the ceiling. So you'll have a floor and you'll have a ceiling. Basically that floor being tropical depression status, ceiling being hurricane status. This isn't going to be a major hurricane. I don't see that happening. Way too much of a short window for this to become a hurricane. Although the water temperatures are very warm, I've had those questions a lot about me, asked a lot, and I don't see that happening as of right now. So that's what the GFS shows, and then that moisture reaches all the way up into the central plains, or not central plains, but into the Ohio Valley and into the Midwest late next week. And so let's go ahead and talk about the European model. This is what really kind of did the forecast for me earlier here. this afternoon once this loads here. We had over the last couple days, and the reason I didn't get on here and start talking to you guys about this until yesterday was the fact that a lot of these models were still very sporadic. I don't like to get on here and say, hey, we're going to be confident that we're going to get a system, or we're going to start to talk about a system until I start to see more model agreement. And so actually today, the noon European run, so the latest European run, it updates twice a day. It updates at 12 o'clock in the morning and at noon afternoon time, so 2 times a day. The European model today actually spit out a very consistent exact pattern to where the GFS model has been showing consistently for the past 2 to 3 days. So that kind of made me go, hey, you know, we're actually going to be dealing with a storm at this point in time. So, and the icon as well in the CMC continuing to show this. So this is the European model run as of this afternoon here. And, you know, like I said, it's got a little bit slower for this to develop here, but you see around Monday, Tuesday here, we get that low that officially pops off the coast of Brownsville, Texas, eastern Mexico here. This is going to be around, you know, Tuesday at 6 o'clock in the morning, according to the European model run. But we see that low. Let me get this to go here. We see that low really start to strengthen here off the coast of Texas and then work its way east, and we actually get a 987 millibar low with a rapid intensification of a storm right before landfall. And that is going to be the determination of what happens. If you guys are in Louisiana, if you guys are in Texas, eastern Texas here along the Houston coastline all the way to New Orleans, I would prepare for a Cat 1 hurricane, but say that's on the higher end of things. So if you guys want, like I said, you know, if you want that comfortable feeling of, hey, everything, you know, I'm prepared for this, I would prepare for a Category 1 hurricane, just because the water temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico are so dang hot, and the surface sea temperatures are extremely hot. We're going to have a little bit of shear that could interact with this, but I would still say, hey, be prepped for a Cat 1 hurricane, just in case, you know, we get that intensification right before landfall. And a lot of the times that we have these systems that are approaching the Gulf Coast, they do intensify right before they make landfall. So, you know, we saw that with Debbie, we saw that with Beryl, we saw that with any potential storm that comes through the Gulf. So models of the European and the GFS doing a really good job here. I want to see this consistency trend, and I think it's going to, because we're very close to this actually, you know, impacting the United States. So, like I said, I'm hoping, you know, that's going to be a thing. I'm seeing some comments here about Lafayette, New Orleans area. I would prepare for excessive rainfall. We could see rainfall rates of between 4 to 10 inches potentially. I think it's going to be more of that 4 to 8 inch range as far as Lafayette goes. Tropical tornadoes is going to be a big thing. If this low pressure system sits on the western side of Lafayette, you guys are going to have the chance to see the highest tornado parameters. And that means any storms that are coming to shore are going to be moving counterclockwise. You're going to have the chance for tropical tornadoes. So those tornado warnings will go sporadic, kind of like what we saw with Beryl potentially. This will, according to the European as well, very, very consistent with the GFS, bring in a lot of moisture into Arkansas, the Ohio Valley. If this trends, which I really hope it does, we need the rain here in the Ohio Valley. I live personally here in Kentucky. We need the rain. This is not a bad setup. I actually really like this setup. I'm not okay with the tropical tornado side of things if this does the exact same thing that Beryl does, where it comes across the Ohio Valley and we got an EF3 tornado about 45 minutes up the road from us. But anyways, this would be a good thing for rain as far as that goes. As far as up the road into parts of, you know, the Ohio Valley, we'll kind of have to wait to see what the models do once this makes landfall. But you guys kind of get the gist of what's going to be happening with this. Now, one other model I'm going to show you guys here. Let's actually go to the icon model, because this has actually done a really, really good job with this storm since it was even in the Caribbean. It'll probably be a little bit harder for you guys to see here. I'm going to have to zoom in just a little bit. You guys can see the low pressure system sitting there in the Gulf of Mexico. The icon model as well, doing a really, really, really good job showing a tropical storm coming into the, you know, same area. The GFS is on sync, the European is on sync, and the icon is on sync. So that's 3 major models right there, and we're still about 4 to 5 days out from an official potential landfall. Being very confident in that confinement area. Now, like I said, models can change. Models are not clearly accurate all the time, but given the fact that we are still uncertain with where the center of circulation is going to develop at, and where the idea of, you know, these models coming to an agreement of where this is going to make landfall potentially at, is huge as far as trying to predict where this is going to go. So, like I said, my Louisiana people, you guys got to be ready to go here. Tornadoes, a lot of rain again, and like I said, a little bit of storm surge. We'll see what that does when the Hurricane Center starts to fly into this storm. I believe we'll start doing that tomorrow. I'll have to double check on that. I thought it was going to be today. I'll have that in the update for you guys tomorrow. But like I said, it's just kind of one of those things that we're going to have to watch as far as the overall threat goes. Now, the icon model, like I said, as well, bringing this into the Ohio Valley. So I'm actually really, I'm very happy that we have such good model agreement right now with this system, because we barely don't even have a low that's quite developed yet. We have an invest, but it's not anything that's substantially crazy at all. So that's good news. Let me see what the questions we've got here in the chat. Let me check all areas here. I do appreciate you guys for watching in all areas if you guys are watching. Let me check here. Hurricane Sally supposed to hit Louisiana and end up in Pensacola. Yeah. I don't think we're going to have a situation like that, Jason, where this kind of wobbles all the way to Florida. I think we've got a pretty good idea on where the steering's going to be at, so that should be a good confidence booster there. When is landfall? As of right now, my honest opinion, guys, it's going to be overnight Wednesday. So, given the luck of how the hurricane season has gone this year, and this is where I get a little bit irritated, every single tropical system that we have had hit the United States this year has been overnight or early morning hours, and it looks like this is going to be another one of those situations. So Wednesday night through the overnight hours into Thursday morning, like super, super, super early. Now, depending on, like I said, when that official cone comes out from the Hurricane Center, we'll determine whether or not we'll kind of have an idea on where that landfall is going to be at. But once again, it's looking to be that we're going to have that potential for, you know, another overnight landfall, which means I have to stay up all night to keep you guys safe, which is fine. I'll do it. That's all about what we're about here, guys, is keeping you guys safe. So, like I said, we will see. I'm actually going to, like I said, I'm going to stay on here until the newest GFS run decides to update here. I want to talk to you guys about something else, non-tropical related, for once. And we have actually not talked about this for a while because we've not had any severe weather for a while as far as major outbreaks or anything. If you guys don't know, I'm a big, what's the word? I'm a big encourager in severe weather preparedness. And if you guys are not prepared for severe weather, you need to be prepared. Typically, most of the time, people only think that we deal with severe weather in the springtime. I know as we transition from summer to fall, and especially fall to winter, we have a lot of clash of seasons going on. You got cold air coming down out of Canada, out of the West Pacific, warm air still coming up out of the Gulf of Mexico. You get severe weather that sets up, and we are transitioning into a La Nina pattern where I think severe weather is going to favor the Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, the Mississippi Valley, the Midwest, and down into Dixie Alley in the Deep South. And so those areas haven't seen, with the exception of the Ohio Valley, especially down in the Deep South, we've not seen a lot of severe weather this year, except for the beginning of the year when we had a couple tornado setups that happened, and those actually kind of fell through. But we are about to enter a pattern officially after this week is over with, where I think we start to see the conversation for significant severe weather outbreaks come up. We're going to start to see these bowling ball trough ejections that come through. So this is going to be our active jet stream right now, guys. This is something I'm really like to talk about as far as the update here with the severe weather side of things. And, you know, right now, not expecting any severe weather until we get to about late next week, potentially. We're going to have our tropical system down here in the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to start to see this U-shaped ski lift trough ejection here. And these are typically what you see when you're transitioning from either, you know, winter to spring, spring to summer. We also get these in the fall. So instead, if you guys are in the fall mode and you're thinking about pumpkin spice lattes or Halloween or any of that, you need to also be prepared for severe weather, because people get a lot more caught off guard during the fall and winter season when severe weather happens. We've had historic tornado outbreaks, severe weather outbreaks. We've had historic tornadoes. You know, there it goes on and on and on. And so I'm trying to get people to understand the idea that severe weather does not just happen in the spring. It happens in the fall and in the winter months. And especially, like I said, as we get ready to change our jet stream pattern into something more favorable for that potential, it's definitely going to be a conversation that we have a lot as far as that goes. Maya might actually have something for you on that here in just a little bit. So as we go into late next week, guys, we're watching currently our first major trough ejection in quite some time. This isn't like a super big jet streak or a strong one, but this is enough where I think we're going to get some severe weather next week, potentially in Colorado, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, maybe up into Montana. But on the right side of this trough ejection here, this is where we typically would see that severe weather at. And so, you know, I think as we have, sadly, once again, a two-time situation happening next week, as we have this tropical surge of moisture coming into the Ohio Valley and into the Midwest late next week, and this bowling ball trough coming through, I think that's going to help aid in that severe weather setup potentially, because this tropical system will be sending moisture in to that trough ejection, and we can actually get a pretty, you know, decent-sized severe weather setup, especially as we go into Thursday and Friday and Saturday of next week. So we got a lot going on next week, guys. It is going to be an extremely, extremely busy week, and then it's not done. Now, you guys know what I say every single time you'll hear any other meteorologist or weather person say this, but we don't like to take models anywhere from 5 to 7 days out or higher with a grain. We take it with a grain of salt, basically, because they're going to change a lot. And so this is just kind of giving you guys the overall pattern here. And then as we go into the third week of September, look at this, guys. The atmosphere is going to be loaded. Basically, we're going to have a lot of these bowling ball troughs. If this were setting up today, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. This here in the middle of your screen, this is what's called a negatively tilted trough. A negatively tilted trough typically favors severe weather. It's just the way the low is shaped here. That southwesterly to northeasterly flow here typically favors big severe weather outbreaks, tornadoes, all that stuff. If this were happening today, we would be having more than likely some type of severe weather or tornado outbreak because of the way that the trough is shaped and the way that it is curved. This is something that could happen as we go into the third week of September. Now, like I said, this is about 13 days out, so these are going to change, but you guys are starting to get the idea here that we are going to continue to see, once again, another one coming in on the 23rd, a big-time severe weather setup that's going to start to set up, especially as we get past this week. So I fear that our days of the Q word being present are going to kind of dwindle, especially as we go through the month of September and then past this point here. So that's just something to kind of keep your guys' minds on. I do want to show you guys another thing as well, and that is going to be the kind of the temperatures that we're going to be seeing here. Temperatures are going to rebound this week. They're going to be going from the west coast to the east coast here. If you enjoyed the fall weather, tomorrow's kind of your last day, especially here in the Ohio Valley and into the Northeast, where we are going to more than likely see those temperatures rebound into the 90s, upper 90s for a lot of people. This is through next Tuesday here on September 10th. Look at all the white and all those darker reds there. Those are 90-plus degree temperatures, and it's for much of the United States as far as that goes. And so that, like I said, that summer weather is going to return once again, especially as we go into Thursday and Friday. But once we get into next weekend, we're going to see that bowling ball trough start to kind of push in a little bit more cooler air out of the West Pacific. And I think we're going to get some type of, like I said, severe weather setup here along the Rockies into the Central Plains late next week. And then as we get into the weekend and into the following week, I think those temperatures are going to kind of change a little bit more. You guys can start to see these blues popping up here in Colorado, Wyoming. Those are 20-degree temperatures. I'm going to let that kind of soak in for just a minute, guys. That is 20-degree temperatures in the higher elevations in Wyoming and Colorado in about 13 days. That is that transition from fall to, or summer to fall that we are going to start to see in those higher elevations. We've already seen snowfall in parts of California already, parts of Montana already. We're going to have another flip-flop, and I think once this flip-flop happens, we'll probably start to see that transition continue. And like I said, look at this, guys. This is in through the third week of September potentially here. You're starting to see 40s across the board, 50s into Iowa, Minnesota, kind of like what we saw this week. But you really start to see more colder air kind of start to sit in place over a longer period of time. So this is definitely something we're going to have to watch in general, just because, you know, it's going to be significant. Let me give you guys another model run here, and we can talk about this as well. Like I said, that was the Euro. This is going to be the a better run of the GFS here that actually just changed here a few minutes ago. I'm going to show you guys something else here. Go to the end of the run. Look at this, guys. 30s and 40s. This is, you know, like I said, a ways out, so we got time to watch this, but you guys see these darker greens, these lighter greens, these blues? Those are 40-degree temperatures for the end of September. 30s and 40s down as far as Texas, potentially here, all the way up into the Northeast. So you can see the pattern changing, especially as we go into the end of the month of September. So I'm excited. Once again, I'm ready for this heat to go away. We just had a really nice fall rush here of weather. I enjoyed getting up this morning and having it be 49 degrees outside. Yeah, it's definitely something to definitely be excited for. Now, like I said, we're going to get a new NHC update here in just a minute, or a few minutes here. Excuse me. We're going to get a new update here in just a few minutes, so I'll wait for this to update. We'll go back here to satellite imagery, and we'll kind of watch the evolution here of our storm. Does everybody got any questions in the chat here? I got 3 platforms here, so let's see where we're at as far as the questions go. For any of the mods that I have that are not over on Tube, if you'll comment so I can mod you guys over there, that would be super, super, super awesome. When can I get my Uggs? Maya, probably not till October, November. We'll have to see. I'm actually going to do it. I'm still trying to get together a prelim winter forecast. If I can get one made, that'd be super awesome. So, like I said, we're going to have to deal with this all week, guys. It's going to be an extremely long week as far as the tropics go. I just want you guys to understand that now. It will be a very long week. All right. Let's slay here. What you guys got going on? I'm here. Is that Ron and Jamie? I got you guys. Awesome sausage. All right, let's check on TikTok here and see what you guys got going on. Indiana right now, you guys are okay. I'm not expecting anything in Indiana until we get closer to this week. I'm really not liking the surge of moisture. I like the rain, but I don't like the tornado side of things that's going to happen with this. What's up, Keith? I want to go back really quick. I want to look at something. Hold on a minute. Bear with me here, guys, real quick. Let me... There we go. All right, let's take a look here at this. The surge of moisture that we're gonna get. I want to see if we've got any type of... Let's do some photographing. Y'all want to do some photograph finding here? Hold on a minute. Go to Louisiana. We're gonna watch this thing come in. Bug. Oh, Jamie, I didn't mean to. I can remove you if you want. I don't. It doesn't matter. I can have as many people as I need, so you're good. I'll have you just in case. It's fine. You're good. You're good. You're good. All right. So this is gonna be. It looks to me that the moisture actually starts coming in here in Louisiana around. This is around Wednesday, 7 a.m. potentially. So we might have tropical tornadoes as soon as Wednesday morning. And then the bigger bulk of. Look at that, guys. Look at that low right over Lafayette. Look at that. 990 on the GFS run. That's there. It's definitely there. Anybody's in Lafayette or Baton Rouge, be ready for an onslaught of tornadoes with this model run. Not a good setup with that. Let's look at our low level jet and see what we're getting with this as far as. Gonna let me do it. Let's do photographs. Hey Robertson, and thank you for the ducks. Or what was that you sent? What did you send? Is that a heart me you sent? I didn't see what it was. It looked like it was a duck. No, you did send a duck. I don't know what you sent. But anyways, thank you. So these are our photographs. These are going to kind of show us where the spin is going to be clearly at with this. Oh. Is this on Thursday morning? Take a sounding here out of New Orleans. Look at that tour sounding. Look at that photograph. Look at this photograph. Yeah. Sorry, y'all. Wow. 2.78, temperature 81. Got an elevated mixed layer that's all the way up there. There's a little bit of a instability problem here. Sorry guys, I was singing for a moment. That's a relatively decent photograph, and this is going to be favorable for tornadoes inside the hurricane or tropical storm that comes in here. That's a sounding. Go a little bit further in time here. Like that's not going to be a problem. Never mind, we may not have. We'll clearly have some spin. All these storms or all these photographs are curved. Let's look at something else here. Very interested to see what the next GFS run is going to spit out. So here's the GIFs. As like I said, the GIFs model. Yeah, it's gonna be right side loaded is what it looks like as well. So all of the worst of it's gonna be clearly on the right side. So this will be a right side loaded storm. And it just 67 to 70 mile an hour low level jet is absolutely wild. Yeah, look at that. Look at that wonky photograph. Oh my gosh. that is insane looking. So there's definitely spin in the atmosphere for sure. That's slinky. Look at the slinky on it too. Damn. Katie, thank you for the 25 lightnings. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, that is definitely a bad squiggly, you know, for sure. Are we good on all streams, guys, by the way? I just want to make sure. I see you guys might have issues in the comments. Hold on. We good on all areas here? Okay. I think we're good. So, like I said, the idea of tropical tornadoes, guys, it's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing for a while. We might actually have, and here's the interesting thing about this. Look at this, guys. So the low-level jet is what typically maximizes your tornado risk. Let's take a look at the Ohio Valley here, because we're going to watch this thing come in, and this wind field's actually going to expand out because the storm is weakening, especially as we go into the Thursday, Friday time frame. Look at this low-level jet coming in here. This is in Kentucky. This is on Friday night. Got a low-level jet next Friday, around 24 knots. That's going to be favorable for counterclockwise spinning tornadoes there, especially in that northeast corridor. Let's take a sounding here in our backyard. Okay, so we don't have anything on that one right now. They're probably going to be a little bit blank just because of the models don't do a great job. I thought it was going to show something. So we're still going to look at that slinky though, or the actual photograph itself, and it's still curved. So there's going to be spin in the atmosphere for anything that comes through here into Western Tennessee, parts of Mississippi, Alabama. Here, it's just going to be dependent on how strong that wind field is once it kind of comes in. I'd be more concerned about an all-day tornado outbreak again in Mississippi and Louisiana, like we had with Beryl. Low-level jet is going to be cranking. Look at that photograph. Oh my goodness. So you guys can see once again what we're working with here, and so this is, like I said, gonna really show where this goes. Now let me see, does the NAM do anything with this yet? I'm really curious. Hold on a minute. Do we have anything on the NAM with our storm yet? That is the biggest question. Oh, look at the NAM. This is the first time I've seen the NAM run, guys, so hold on just a moment. Let's go to is this going to show the actual supercell or the signature? Is this the tornado parameters that we're going to get here? Oh, we're working with this here. Look at the tornado parameters on the NAM spinning out here over that. So we're definitely gonna have spin. I know I keep saying that, guys, but it's just reiterating the idea of the tornado factor with this. That goes out to about 84 hours. I would love to see what the models do with the actual low itself. They're not going to show me that. Look at that thing. 71 knots, 73 knots on that northeastern quadrant. So guys, just kind of looking at these model runs, like I said, I'm not going to be super confident. I think I'll have more of a confident answer tomorrow and Tuesday. Hopefully by tomorrow we'll have some information on that, or not by Tuesday, but tomorrow and Monday. But every single one of these models is showing hurricane force winds and a northeastern quadrant on this storm. So it really makes me think that we're going to go through a rapid intensification process, but you can never predict when these things happen. They're so hard to predict as far as just the in general intensity. But just looking at a low-level jet at 73 knots, that would be, you know, potential for a hurricane. Yeah, Facebook's going to be a little bit behind. I can't do nothing with that as far as the latency goes. It only lets me do it on the tube. So on Facebook, you guys will just kind of have to deal with it, Jamie. It's fine. I'm not worried about it really. As long as it works, it's all good. I wish it would show. There we go. Let's see if it shows it. Whoa, the NAM is aggressive. The NAM's got a 987, which the NAM is aggressive in general. The NAM's got a 987 just by Wednesday morning, before we even get closer to those warmer waters. That's interesting. Let's take a look at this. Hold on a minute. So it's got this circulation. This is by tonight. It looks like we have a low, a 101 low. This is basically saying we're gonna have a tropical depression by Monday afternoon. Is what the models are kind of showing at this point. It's fine, Jane. I'm not worried about it. For a viewer though that's watching it, they're not gonna know it all. It's gonna be fine. I'm not worried about it. No, there was not a tornado in Indiana today. Not that I know of. Yeah, this is something we gotta watch here. I think that's all of our runs so far. What does what does CMC have? Let me see if I can find Canada's run. I know they've got precip somewhere. Oh, it's in here somewhere. No, it is. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, so the CMC models have it going as well into Louisiana. Yeah, so we have consistency, which is good. I like to see the consistency. All right, guys, you got questions for me here? We're gonna wait for the new 11 o'clock to come in, which it should be soon. Yeah, Johnny, we didn't have any storms in Indiana today. It may have been a cold air funnel or something. I'll have to look back at it and see, but I'll double check on it later. I'm not worried about it right now. Yeah, we'll get a new advisory here in about a few minutes, guys. Well, Houston see a lot of rain from this. It depends on the low track. Houston's a hard one to kind of figure out because of the fact that actually speaking of that, I didn't show you guys the European model runs for the rainfall totals. Let me get that in here for you guys. Talk about that actually right now. Oh, wow. Yeah, Houston, you're between the 1 to 5 inch range, but look at this, guys. Beaumont, Texas, 15 inches of rain on the European model. And this goes all the way up into Kentucky, which is what's wild about it. It's got us getting 2 to 3 inches of rain up here in Kentucky, but look at this. That is some extensive rainfall right there. Holy crud. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more. We can actually do Houston. Hold up. Yeah, Houston's got y'all on the threshold. So look at this. Depending on where the low tracks, right? So Houston's got forecasted on the Euro for 2 inches. You go about 15 to 25 minutes down the road, and you hit that 8 to 12 inch rainfall totals. So it's all going to be dependent on, like I said, where does that low set up? How far offshore is it? How inshore is it? A lot of time to figure this out. So these rainfall totals, Beaumont is going to get just whacked, absolutely whacked with rain. The models have both agreed as far as that goes with the rainfall here. God, if you live in Beaumont, please be mindful. No, the hearts on tube guys don't do anything. It's just there. I think it actually, no, sorry, it does help with the algorithm. Just continue to do it and we'll see what happens. I don't know much. We're learning on that as well over there. But yeah, guys, God, I don't know what I would do if I had 16 inches of rainfall fall in my backyard within a matter of 3 days, if even that. Go back and compare to the GFS again. Yeah, the GFS has got a little bit lower of an amount in Houston, but it's keeping it very consistent as far as where we're going to see the highest rainfall totals as of right now. Like Lake Jackson, Galveston, Beaumont, Lake Charles, Alexandria, all the way up. Beaumont, the impacts will start as soon as... Yeah, 2 days. It starts Tuesday night into Wednesday. This will be Tuesday night. So we'll probably have to start doing live coverage Tuesday night, and then kind of going through Wednesday, and then Wednesday night will be the big one, and then Thursday, basically. Man. Let me look here. Hold on. I don't know where that's at. I can't look it up on the dot. Hold on. That's gonna be there on the... Ugh. That's south of Point Comfort. Let me go back to the model here and look at it. Three to 5 inches, as of right now, Meg. But don't hold your hope on that right now. We're gonna get a lot of changes. Are they doing an 11 o'clock advisory with this? I will have to watch this. This is actually really interesting right here off the coast. Let's look at something here. See what the models are doing. Can you get reflectivity that far down? The models are going to show that. Yeah, no problem, Meg. Absolutely. No problem, guys. Yeah, the impacts aren't going to start until probably closer to, this is on Monday afternoons. I'd say Tuesday morning is when we'll start to see impacts in Texas, Monday night and a Tuesday morning. As far as that run goes. Yes, babe, you can have my hamburger. That is fine. You were going to do that. That's fine. What's up, people from from California? Here we go. Here's a better idea on the euro. Good morning, Starshine. Vanna's awake. Yay. Yeah, so like I said, the European model run, so weird. Get up here into like like Charles, Interstate 10. If you live in Orange, Bridge City, Port Arthur, this looks to be like, this has been a pretty big trend. This looks to be like the biggest area that we'd see the highest rainfall totals as of right now. This has been pretty continuous as far as the overall rain threat goes. Yeah. And then, like I said, GFS doing a pretty good job with it as well. Look at the Hammond run. This is going to be a little bit weird, guys. Don't base the future satellite off of this. It's really weird. Wait, hold on. Let's do... I know the GFS has a satellite imagery. No, it does. I thought it did. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Oh. This isn't going to probably be accurate at all, but I just want to look at this and see if it does anything. See, look at this, guys. It's all this convection that's coming off of Mexico that starts it. It's so weird. This is like a simulated satellite imagery. This is going to be on Tuesday afternoon, potentially. This is just a satellite. This is just kind of showing what the structure of it would look like. This is interesting. Look at the blow up of this. It's gonna be very unorganized. We're not gonna have a symmetrical looking hurricane like we typically would if this had a longer time period to kind of get itself together. So just kind of be mindful of that. When's the next update for the model run? This update's every 6 to 12 hours, so it's gonna be a little bit of time. I don't think we're going to get it on 11 o'clock. I think it's just 8 p.m. Yeah, we probably won't get an 11 o'clock. It's just 8 p.m. So I thought we were going to get another update. Gotta watch these other 2 disturbances though, guys. The other 2 that are out as well in the ocean. Can we do that with these? Where is 92B at? Oh, I don't want to watch 92B. Why are we over here? Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Nope. Nope, we're not going to another country. Yeah, so let's actually talk about that. I want to show you guys these other disturbances as well when we've got time here. Let's zoom out. Let's go to the tropics. Let's go to the Atlantic Basin here. Kind of give you guys an idea on what we could see down the road as well with the tropics. Are those 2? Yes, they're 2 separate ones. Yes. All right, so currently right now, guys, there's a lot of lows on the board. Pay attention to the one that is here, the 108, and then pay attention to the 110. Those are the ones that we're going to watch over the next couple of days here. These both are going to kind of meander. We're going to get another wave that comes off of Africa as well, so there'll probably be a third one that pops up at some point. So just kind of be mindful of that. But we're going to have 2 lows kind of sitting here. These are going to work their way east. They're going to do their thing. One of them is going to become a hurricane at some point probably. There it is. Yep. So these are what we call fish storms most of the time. Most of these typically get caught off in the Bermuda High, and they'll typically get steered right. But in this scenario, like I said, there it goes. So it steers it basically right. So this would be a Cat 4, Cat 5 hurricane just out in the middle of the ocean. So that's a good scenario. And then, like I said, down the road, it just kind of sits there. So right now, tropic-wise, we'll just, like I said, we're going to watch it, but the only threat to the United States for the long run right now is going to be the one that's over here in the, oh, shucks, I can't talk. Over in the Gulf of Mexico. Is this the graph? Let's use the graph and see what it does. All right, this is going to be our graph model run. This is a run I don't usually use a lot, but we'll see what it shows. Yeah, so the graph's got a 997, 989. So it's all the models got Louisiana in the dead target zone. So basically, guys, this is a lot of information. We've been on here for about an hour. I'll probably be getting off here soon with you guys. That way, I can let y'all be for the night. We're going to do another update tomorrow night as well, probably a little bit sooner. We'll just kind of see when I'm available to do it. Make sure y'all please watch my videos daily. That way you guys can stay updated. That way you guys can stay available on the tube and here on TikTok. They both get posted on both platforms as well. They also get posted on Facebook as well too, and on Twitter. So if you guys don't have my socials, make sure you guys get those. Those are linked in my bio on all areas as well. Tomorrow is the first week of football. I will be making a video in the morning, and then you guys will probably not hear from me until tomorrow night. Once games are over with. So, yeah. If I haven't got any last minute questions, guys, I'll let y'all, if I don't want to. Well, that's wild, babe. When do you think this will turn into a... I don't know if it will or not. That's the biggest thing. I do have to focus tomorrow. I do. I watched it, yes, Maya, I did. And I am, honestly a little bit disgraced by it. But it's okay. So, go back here and see the icons up. So, I had a question for you guys. What do y'all think about the stream setup so far? Like, as far as my viewers, my teammates, my viewers that are in here that watch, with the overall stream quality, what do you guys think about it? Does there need to be some adjustments? Do you guys like the way the stream looks? Is there anything else I can do? What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the chat, on all chats. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm really excited, guys. This is a huge thing, being able to be on all 3 areas at the same time. I'm very, very much happy with everything that that we've made at this point. So it's very, very much nice. I'm starting to wait. Good. Yay. Awesome. Yay. I'm glad I can get it fixed for you guys. Yay, Jamie. Awesome. So the goal is, guys, is to reach as many people as possible, save as many lives as possible. You guys know me if you've watched me for a while. We've been streaming for 2 years straight on TikTok at this point. Continuing to grow, continuing to push out stuff. Make sure as well, guys, go check out the merch as well. It is linked in my bio. Go check out the merch. We want you guys to put orders in. There's about 20 plus different item options as merch, t-shirts, hats, hoodies, etc. Go check it out. It is linked in my bio on my website, as well as if anybody would like to join the weather team. There's an application on my website as well. Feel free to put an application and join in our weather team. We are looking for more people to join. If you have knowledge of weather, or if you don't have knowledge of weather, you will be taught as well. So, babe, I just saw your name come across YouTube, and that was wild. What if I don't want to? But yeah, so please, please, please do that, guys. We want more people to join the team. I've got a lot of my regulars in here that are on TikTok right now that I know like to watch my streams. Courtney, I see you in here, a couple others. If you guys want to join the weather team, go fill out the application and you get to be a part of this amazing team. There's about 30 plus people on this team that do amazing hard work and amazing things, and it's a blessing to have you guys on here, and I really, really do appreciate it. It really helps out a lot as far as making things go smoother. Yeah, my mods, my safety team, weather team, all of you guys in here, you guys are super freaking awesome, and I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I know it is, babe. I know. Oh, heck yeah, Mary. Yeah, I would like to get some photogenic clouds, but that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Not like we're getting anything anytime soon. Alright guys, so tomorrow we'll probably do this around the same time. Might do a little bit later. I don't know yet. We'll see what the day brings tomorrow as far as the stream. See what these models do tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to, Mary, that's fine. My link stuff's in my bio, so fill out whichever one you want to send it to, you can. I wish the GFS would start updating. I really want to see it. What is the icon doing? Are we getting a new icon run right now? Ooh, we're getting a new icon run. Hold on a minute. Hold on the phone, guys. The icon is updating. I want to see what the icon does before we get off here. So already looking at the new icon run coming in, the icon model is a hurricane model. It does a very, very good job at a lot of the times at, I'm sorry, babe, I didn't make it. I didn't mean to. But it does a really, really good job as far as, predicting hurricanes in general. It does mess up like the models do, but look at the new run here. Already kind of seeing a difference on Tuesday at midnight, or Tuesday morning at 12 a.m. Icon model's got a 101 millibar load. That would be a mediocre tropical storm, believe it or not. So just basing off of pressure readings and terminology here. So we're going to see 998 on Tuesday morning at, so this is not good. The icon model already is ahead of itself compared to the last run, I believe. Let me double check on this. Hold on a minute. We're going to double check on this. Rose and they're dropping stuff. Yeah, icon model is already ahead of itself. So the icon run that came through about 6 hours ago has a 994 at landfall. So if you guys can remind me what that is when I ask y'all that question here in a minute. That way we can stay up to date on this. We're at a 998 right now. So if this drops below 994, then the icon is showing what the GFS is showing, basically. Which is going to kind of make me kind of confirm what we're looking at. We're going to have to wait for it to update. I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry. All right. Yeah. We're just gonna have to wait for it to update, guys. Sorry, we're just gonna have to wait for it to update. I want to see what this does. I'm really curious. Then we'll get off here after this. If anybody got any last minute questions on either of the stream platforms, please, please, please ask them now. I know, right, Courtney? trying to get you guys just prepped for this. So if you guys got friends, family that live in Louisiana, they gotta know. They gotta be ready to go here. So Rochelle, you're in for it. Yeah, Lee, it's looking like we're gonna have 996. So this is the icon has this rapidly intensifying Tuesday. If this drops below 990, I'm gonna start to get concerned. They have a 996 off the coast of Texas on Tuesday at 3 p.m. So is this gonna shift east and then continue to intensify? That's my question. Nine 996 it's up there, guys. It's definitely up there. Oh yeah, babe. Oh man. Yeah, guys, this is gonna be a long week. So 994. So Icon is grasping on to a rapidly intensifying storm, essentially, between Tuesday morning and Tuesday afternoon. Which is wild. All right, let's do those. So 94, it looks like I said, it's what's the most interesting thing about this system too, guys, is the fact that it's not going north. It's literally hugging the coastline because of the steering current of a surface front. I'm very interested to see what the GFS is going to spit out tonight. If it's going to stay aggressive or if it's going to do its thing and actually stay where it's at. The 994. 994. Oh, man. I'm going to be screaming at a TV all day tomorrow, guys. I'm going to probably go to bed early tonight. This takes forever to update. The icon model sucks. It's updating. $9.93. Look at that low. So it's definitely still loaded to the northeast, meaning like this is going to be a rainmaker on the right side. I'm very, very interested to see if we wake up Tuesday morning and we've got a tropical depression. Oh, buddy boy, it's going to be a long 48 hours. We're going to have a rapidly intensifying storm going toward Louisiana. We've been watching this tropical disturbance since last Saturday, once it came off the coast of Africa and into the Caribbean. And it was forecasted to become a hurricane, never even became a storm, came into the Gulf of Mexico and decided to spin up right at home, when this wasn't even supposed to come toward the United States. Which is wild. So we go from 101 at midnight on Monday to 989. Whoa! The icon is going ham. It goes from 993 to 989. That is Wednesday at 6 o'clock in the morning. So now it's looking like landfall would be Wednesday afternoon on the icon. That is a rapidly intensifying storm as it's coming closer and closer to Louisiana. If you're in southeast Louisiana, the system that we're talking about right now is it's about to get worse. You're about to get a lot more rainfall in Louisiana, as well as potentially a tropical storm or hurricane. Like the odds of this becoming a Cat 1 hurricane, I'm continuing to see those increase. This is definitely concerning. We're going to have a tornado issue with this. We're going to have storm surge. We're going to have some heavy rainfall, and we're going to have wind. It's going to be a Louisiana storm. We're going to have rain on the east coast of Texas with the coastal areas, but this is gonna hit Louisiana pretty hard as far as right there. Louisiana's dodged a lot of bullets over the last couple of years as far as missing landfalls. They've been missed to the west. They've been missed to the east. We've not had like an official landfall in Louisiana in a long time. I don't think I've ever covered a landfalling storm in Louisiana. I don't think I have. Because Beryl made landfall in Texas and then skirted east through Arkansas. But I've never covered a landfalling storm, like official landfall in Louisiana before, believe it or not. I've covered a lot of storms, guys, but not a hurricane in Louisiana. Yeah, and that's going to be the problem, is that we are going to see a lot of power outages from this just because of the ground being so saturated. We're going to have trees toppled over. We're going to have a lot of issues. If this pressure drops down to 984 or 983, which I know it potentially will, that's not going to be good, guys. Because the icon has been very consistent with showing a mid-grade tropical storm. Now it's showing a hurricane. So, like I said, this is granted, this is one model run. We gotta wait to see what happens, but this is continuing. Every model is continuing to put more and more of an intensification process on the storm. Basically. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's actually got it going back up to 991. So yeah, between 989, 990, 991 is kind of the thought process here with this. There's a lot of things that are going to happen. Golly gee whiz. This would be on Wednesday afternoon. So landfall would be between Wednesday afternoon on the icon and Wednesday night, basically. That's nice to know as far as we're just trying to plan out things. Alrighty, guys. We're gonna get ready to wrap it up here. I've got a lot of things that I've got to get kind of sorted out and figured out for the week here. For my mods and teammates in here, guys, don't forget mandatory weekly meeting tomorrow night at 6 p.m. I'll put a Discord message when we get off here. For my viewers on all platforms, I appreciate y'all for watching. We're gonna do this again tomorrow at some point. Just kind of look out for a live stream later tomorrow night. It'll probably be a little bit later because we're going to be watching football. But other than that, guys, I really appreciate all the support tonight, all the love. We're going to continue to eat tomatoes with Spider there. But we're going to continue to push out the new stream layout here. So I'm super excited. I just now saw all the Facebook comments. I wasn't in there. What in the world is Jamie and Roe talking about on Facebook? But, alright guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. I appreciate y'all for watching this. Stay safe, be weather aware. Watch my video tomorrow morning, please, as well as get ready for a live stream tomorrow night. But other than that, guys, you're on the Louisiana-Texas coastline. Now is the time to prepare.